On today's episode of Gathering the Kings.
I got smashed up in my Range Rover. They said I would never walk again. We were in ICU, and my wife is standing there, and they said I would never walk again. Obviously, I'm walking, I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm doing it all.
Yeah, you're building.
We get it down. So you have to continuously believe in you. Yeah. When there is no light, you just got to keep going forward. Just keep working.
You are listening to Gathering the Kings with Chaz Wolfe, featuring fellow 7, 8, and even 9-figure business owners who have real battle scars from business and life, but have prevailed as the king that they are designed to be. We welcome high-performing entrepreneurs to the stage in order to reveal the real of the real on what it takes to build a successful business today. We dissect the good and bad decisions they've made along the way that give a true and accurate picture of the journey of success and how you too can get there. Through this dialogue, you will learn the value of growing your network and surrounding yourself with power players and kings like today's guest. Grab your pen and notebook because we're about to dive in.
All right, guys, Gathering the Kings, Chaz Wolfe, we're back at you. I've got Derrick Childs, Derrick CW Childs.
Absolutely.
Dude, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate the opportunity. Sure, absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you, Chaz.
I have to first, before we get into any sort of business, I've got to comment on a fellow bearded fella. You're working the beard over there like me, right? Or should I say me like you? You've probably done it longer than me.
Quite a while, probably.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to get to some of your story. This is going to be an unbelievable show. Tell us what kind of business you have.
So my name's Derrick CW Childs, and CW stands for Charles White. I grew up without parents. Mother or father grew up in foster homes, and I went back and got my lineage to my name, to my father's name. So that's where the CW comes from, Charles White. Love that. I am the director of construction design for Container Homes USA. Currently, we are ranked number 3 in America in the containerized fabrication community, residential, commercial, industrial, and recreational are the products that we build. Most people just build residential. We're spread it across. We try to invite all the different entities that we can get business from. And we build shipping container homes. I grew up very poor, and we didn't have much. And one of the baddest things I remember is our home. We grew up poor, buckets everywhere and all that type of stuff when it rains. So I always, growing up, wanted to create something that could bring some lasting life to other families. And affordable housing solutions always stayed at the top. So we built single family homes, we built duplexes, we built triplexes, we built quads, we built 26 units apartment buildings, we built 100 unit apartment buildings. So That's pretty much what we do.
But all of the products that you just mentioned are out of container units.
All of them are out of container units, but we do have another division as well where we build custom steel homes where a city may not allow the containerized project. We will build a steel building. We just opened up a large 200,000 square foot fabrication shop in Dubai. Currently, we're headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio, where we have a 30,000 square foot fabrication shop from start to finish, turnkey products.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. So before we get too much into the story and kind of how you started the company and just some of our talk offline, I know that like you are just experiencing hockey stick growth, which is just incredible. I can't wait to hear more about it. But at this point in the game, the language that we use is king, right? Like you're a king in the business. You've been doing it for a while, but now your revenue has given you the ability to have resources like a king. At this level, though, what keeps you pushing?
Well, the unknown. Be honest with you, the unknown. I don't know what my cap is going to be. I don't think there is a cap on it. I think the sky is the limit. I believe that I can build anything and furnish anything. We're in conversations with some people right now for 5,000 homes for Ukraine. There's nothing we can't do. There's nothing we can't do. We've been in business for, July 15th will be 8 years that we have formed the business. Yeah. There is not too much that we can't do, and we can do it turnkey.
Yeah, front to back. I love where you went with that because when you initially said the unknown, you would think naturally with your background, like you said, growing up poor, not having parents in the foster system, that the quote unquote unknown, as you said, would maybe be scarcity of like, the unknown. I've got it good now, but maybe I won't tomorrow. So I'm going to keep pushing. And I know that's probably some of it because that's part of, I think, everybody who came from nothing. We feel that a little bit, like you got to keep going.
Sure.
But that's not where you went with it, dude. Like you went the opposite. You're like, the sky's the limit. The unknown is like, I got to keep going because what if I stop now, but my potential was more, right?
Yeah, it's it's a tricky situation. It's all about you. You have to drive you. You have to encourage yourself on a day-to-day basis. You have to pray every day. You have to work every day. I start work at 5:30 in the morning. It's 4:46, and I still got 3 more hours in the day before I even stop. Yeah. So if you want to get to the pinnacle of the mountain and you don't have all those resources or never had those resources available for you, you have to keep going. You have to. There is no stop. I have a wife that has MS, was diagnosed with MS 18 months into my marriage. I have 2 sons and a daughter. One son's 31, just turned 31. I have another son that's a junior in college in Cincinnati. Then I have a daughter that's a freshman in high school. There is no stop. And don't stop till the box drops, because the needs always exist. They will always exist. And I never want to have my children go without from what I had, just opportunity. Opportunity is the number one thing. Have you been given an opportunity to succeed? Most people have been given one opportunity, failed, didn't know how to handle the success. So they failed and they never got back to it. And they went back to that standard paycheck, 40 hours a week. That's not me. It just ain't me. It's not enough money in that 40-hour paycheck for me to be an employee. I have to be the employer.
That's right. Well, I love the story. I love your energy. So let's go back in time a little bit.
Sure.
I know that I was going to say quadrupled, but centupled your revenue. I don't know if that's a word. I just made that up. But before you were 7 figures, you had been there in that section of time for a period of time, like a good bit. That's most likely who's listening is you at that point, right? So before you got to where you are today, I want to talk about some decisions that you made. So tell me, before the hockey stick growth, what was a good decision that you made that helped you get to maybe where you are today in the 7 figures plus?
Never leaving my wife, not allowing us to split up because of adversity in life. She's a queen. She's the number one reason. She's my number one driver. Okay. That's the number one driver. I would probably say the next thing is I just kept investing in myself.
Okay.
I never had a whole bunch of extra money. We had 10 houses, but rehab houses, $4,000 or $5,000 from a sheriff's sale. I'm a carpenter. Went in, rebuilt them, created 10, units, getting paid, $550 a month. So you can figure the math. Yeah. But it comes to a point where you can't go any further. You're stuck. Right. So we took a chance. I was in a car accident. I got smashed up in my Range Rover. They said I would never walk again. We were in ICU, and my wife is standing there, and they said I would never walk again. Obviously, I'm walking, I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm doing it all.
Yeah, you're building.
So getting it down. So you have to continuously believe in you. Yeah. When there is no light, you just got to keep going forward. Just keep working. Believe me, if you keep going, God's going to meet you there. You didn't see the light because you weren't far enough down the road. That's why you didn't see it.
Yeah, I love that. You said so much. I want to take a half second to recap that. The first thing you said, which I have to highlight, is your wife. She's the biggest driving factor. You said she's a queen. Like, give us 2 seconds on that of why did you say that first?
Well, a lot of people have a lot of different. I can run over a whole bunch of adversity. I can run over every single reason in the world: foster kid, poor, outhouses, wells, no money, broken shoes, feet in plastic, bread bags. I can run over all that. But let's find out why I got to keep going, because all that's in the past. This is what's on the table right now. My wife, that's what's on the table. My 3 kids. My wife has multiple sclerosis. 18 months into my marriage is when she got diagnosed with that. And I've been married September 12th to be 12 years. And I love that lady. That's my queen. I may be the king, but she is definitely the queen. She was a registered nurse making X amount, exorbitant amounts of money registered nurses make. And then all of a sudden she had to quit. Now we're down to 1 income. You think I'm hustling with 2 incomes. Imagine how I had to hustle with 1 income.
That's right.
And we're still doing it. We went our first year, I think we made $28,000.
In your business.
In the business.
In your business.
1 income. Well, no, at that time it wasn't income. It was both of us working. But the first year we made about $28,000, $30,000. Second year, a little bit over 50. Third year, I think we cracked 80. And I said, I think I got something here. I think we may have something here. At this point, I've got about $100,000 invested in blueprints in the corner with stamps on them. Couldn't do nothing with them. But I had to prove my theory to those who didn't believe that a container could turn into an affordable housing solution.
Right.
That's what's the main thing. So once we got to that point, she became to the situation where she couldn't stay a registered nurse. She had to retire. I gave my wife the company. She owns all 1,000 shares of the company. I don't even own one share of it.
With so many different roads we could take down this path, my man. Okay, so your wife has been not only just probably a piece like of encouragement and or challenge that, like that a good relationship counterpart is, but what I heard you say was that it's what's in front of you, it's what's keeping you moving, it's your accountability, like you're responsible, it's the fuel in your engine. I love that you threw the kids in there too. Like all of that is you could totally tell from your passion that family's everything. And then obviously you kind of dove into a little bit of your personal development. You pressed into you pressed into the blueprints, you pressed into proving out this idea. And you did this for many years until it really took off, right?
Yes, sir.
So in that time frame before the pop, what about a bad decision? What'd you do that was just like, don't do this. I already did it. I saved us both some time.
I would recommend you not buy any luxury vehicles. Do not create any unnecessary debt.
Yeah. And so coming from somebody who has some real estate properties, even before you kind of like you said, made it per se, you understand passive income. And so that liability is really what you're saying, that debt, that liability, it's not making you any money.
No money. Yeah. And it increased the burden on my shoulders, but we made it through. 6 years, we were stuck at a couple $100,000 a year. And I kept saying, there's got to be more than this. This is nothing. I can go work a job. I'm getting job offers for $100,000 easy. Right. So when we got to, last July, we got our first call from a client up out of Connecticut that owned an enormous amount of property, said they had searched probably 40, 50 firms and they could not find no one to deliver. You got to be able to deliver. We can talk about this all day long, Chaz, but if you can't deliver the end product, it is of no good to the consumer. Right. So once we got to that, we worked it out. The client said, Derrick, we would like to build 50 houses. 50 houses. Okay. Yeah. No
At that point, was that as many as you had done, like up to that point, total combined?
We had done maybe 10.
Yeah. So you're total. Like 5X in one project.
In one project. $5,365,000 project.
Wow.
One.
Yeah.
And that happened first quarter of this year. So the number 7 is God's favorite number of favor. So the 7th year, which is what we're in, finishing up, God has blessed us with that. And in addition to that deal, we ended up picking up 3 more deals just like it.
Yeah. Once you know or have the exposure, then you've created yourself as an authority, which, it's so funny that we started off with a bad decision there. So let me make sure the listener heard you. It's not just high profile vehicles, because there can be a play in that for attention and marketing. And I'm all about that. But what you're saying is don't spend money on dumb stuff.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Put your money in your business, put your money in yourself, put your money into the future, into some sort of an asset, not a liability.
Absolutely. Okay? But you still got to live, though. You still got to live life.
Yes, still got to live life. That's absolutely. But you said you got in a car accident in that Range Rover. You probably would have been fine in a Ford.
Hey, I was in a Chevy Equinox for a very long time. My wife was in a Hyundai Tucson for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Okay, so when it comes to the blessing that you referred to, I love just thinking about that. You said earlier, and I'm going to tie these two things together, that if you'll keep going, if you'll keep running, the persistence, the going further down the road, and then eventually you get the light. And then you said that's where God meets you. And so give us a little bit of your story there, because obviously, like you said, no parents, foster system, you've got this long depth of just history in your life. You've experienced so much. And then to do a business, be getting like what probably some people would be like, this isn't working. And then they would just quit, like you said, and go to another job, but you didn't, you held on. And then, like you said, then the blessing came. So how does that all like culminate for you with like your rich history and the blessing kind of coming when it did?
Well, I think the adversity that God had carried my life through, I believe that is what prepared me for this platform. God kept me in poverty so I can go back and help those in poverty. You can't help nobody. You can't help nobody until you can help yourself. Once you can help yourself, then you can reach back and help people. But my whole agenda of helping people is on a grand level. I don't believe I'm being successful by helping 50 people. I'm here to help thousands of people. Just because When you come from where I come from and you get where I am and you're authority and you know what you're talking about, trust you me, there's not no engineer, no architect, no building department, no one that could tell me about this game. I know this game inside out, from getting the container from the depot to delivering it to a turnkey product, to the smile on the client's face, getting my last payment.
Yeah. I love that.
I know all about it.
Yeah. The authority, obviously. Exactly. And the authority that you just spoke in, the confidence, how does someone, someone, maybe they're in a trades business like you, or maybe they just started a little marketing agency, or, they're a real estate agent and they're doing 6 figures. They haven't hit the 7-figure mark. How do they operate in such authority like you just said? Is that a personality thing? Is that something that's given? Do you develop that? Like, what do you say to that?
That was developed before I even got to this platform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How so?
I'm not saying you have to come from poverty to get it, but that was just my path. I had to come from nothing so I could appreciate all of the something, because it's a lot. Yeah. So from an individual perspective, I would recommend, if someone wants to get out of being an employee and you want to be your own boss, you're going to take some bumps. Yeah. You are not winning until you have lost a lot. I guarantee you that, at least in my life. I didn't begin to win until I had lost a lot. Now that I'm winning, you have to understand, you have to stay there, because winning is all about what's important now. Is this bill important now, or is this bill important now? And you have to be able to distinguish it very clearly. Is this customer important, or is this situation? The customer is always important. The customer is always right, even when they're wrong. We both know that. That's just what that is, and they're wrong 90% of the time. Okay. If you want to get to the level of confidence in which I operate in, you have to know your product. Steadily study your craft. Yeah. Always hoping to improve. Never being complacent. Never think you knowing everything. People talk to me all day long, ask me questions. I already know the answer, but I'm not going to belittle them, because I'm trying to help them get to another level. How I got there. You got to drive. You got to drive yourself. It is a jackhammer every single day for the last 7+ years.
Yeah, I love it. And before that too, right? Like that was just the business journey. Before that, you were jackhammering just in a different way.
Oh my God, that's just the business part. I thank God that my health at my age of 55, that I'm still available to do this. When I got into that car wreck, when the car hit me from a bad storm, put me in ICU, said I'd never walk again, they had to rip my whole face out.
Wow.
And I had to keep going. You had to keep going. And I didn't even want to be seen. No, most of the time I've had major TV stations, Chaz, just so you know this, I've had major TV stations have asked me to come in and be on camera, and I refused, because I haven't got back to where I want to get back to right now. They're getting ready to do these implants and put this big old smile. But God will put a spur in you to make sure you stay right there. He's going to leave a thorn right in you to make sure you stay humble. Because a guy like me that comes from poverty all my life, then the next, 5-6 years, things are different. I'm able to do this. I'm able to go here. I'm able to take my family here. Right. I'm able to support my children like I want to. Right. As a man, it's the greatest feeling in the world to find out that you took something that they told you. People were laughing at us, Chaz. You sold 10 houses, duplex houses. You're making $10,000 a month, every month, cash money, and you're going to throw it. No, I didn't throw it away. I just cashed in for another level. It's the next level you got to get to. And we're getting to go to another level next month. Yeah. We're going to another level next month.
I think anybody who listens to this show and even knows your name is going to go to the next level just listening to your energy, bro. I mean, that's why we wanted to have you on the show. But there's just so much underneath of what you're saying, really, which is what I've stood for in my own journey, my own walk, my own family. Is it's not about the money. It's not about even yes, my queen, my family. I want to, like you said, it's the greatest feeling in the world, and it is. But if we didn't have them, we would probably be doing it anyway. And the reality
if I wasn't married, I'd still be doing something 100%. And I'd be trying to get on a grand stage. I would never made it to the pros. So I have my Super Bowl every month. I have my NBA finals every month. I just do it.
Yeah, because you're cheering for you. You're cheering for you. You don't have someone else's name on the back of your jersey. You've got your name. And so
I'm my biggest cheerleader.
Exactly. And you have to be. And so I think there's going to be plenty of guys and gals that relate. It's not that you don't want to provide or be I think we agree there for sure. It's an amazing feeling. We just moved into a brand new house. We've been building for 15 months. It's been incredible to be here and have my wife be like, wow, this is incredible. Right. But more than that. And she knows this too, because she's actually the one that tells me, is that the way that we're designed, the way that a king is designed is to push always more, conquer more, growth more. Over here, what's going on here? How do we level up these people over here? And to your point, you're just like, got to get to the next level, got to get to the next level, got to get to the next level. And I think you could do 50 million next year and you'd be like, we're going to the next level.
100 million then. If I
100 million.
Look, right now, we are projected to do $25 million this year. I've never collectively my whole 55 years earned $1 million. So I'm getting ready to do $20 to $25 million this year. Much is given, much is required, though. Yeah. You better believe that. I'm the chairman and my wife is a co-chair for Operation Hope USA. It ain't all about you. When we first started our business, we didn't make no money, not much money. We could barely live on that type of stuff. But we started cooking meals in our house. We made 100 meals for the homeless. Then it went to 250 the next year. Then it went to 500. Then it went to 1,000. And right now we feed 5,000 people for Christmas and Thanksgiving. We give out 250 bags of groceries to families every single Thursday of the month. We do 500 backpacks for the kids for school, because I know what it is. I know what it is to go to school and not have all the proper tools. You got one pencil and these people over here, they got a 10 pack, stuff that just wasn't even. No. So you got to keep driving. It ain't about you keeping it all. Once you keep it all, God's going to take it. You're not going to stand very long. You're meant to share. God has brought me here to help other people evolve. Operation Hope stands for helping other people evolve, period.
Yeah. Such a great message. Wow. We've got more than we bargained for here today, folks. I hope you're taking notes though, because he's given you quite a bit inside of just like the little questions I've asked about good decision, bad decision. He's given you so much more, but I want to do our speed round as we wrap up here.
Sure.
Because you're just bringing the heat, bro. And I want to keep the fire rolling here. In your business, I know you're all about the numbers. You're obviously a student of your trade, which we are in so much alignment on that. It's incredible. But if you could only pick one thing to measure or to track inside of your business that's going to do 25 million this year, what would it be?
One thing that I would measure or track?
If you could only pick one.
My leads, how I create my leads. We took a GoDaddy website and we put it together. Didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know nothing. I'm a carpenter guy. Didn't know nothing about this, internet or nothing. Got with GoDaddy. They showed me how to grab this, copy, paste this, do this. And I created it. And we created a box at the bottom that said, if you are interested, please fill out, give us your name, email, and phone number. We get 10 a day.
Yeah. And so you're trying to figure out how to go to 100 a day.
I'm trying. Jazz, you know what the funny thing is? You just said that, but that's not too far off. That's way off. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to create a call center and employ 50 people to take the calls. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Well, you're going to just, I partially apologize, but then I also know that somewhere in there's going to be some good. There's going to be like 50 people that just heard you that are in marketing, and they're going to contact you afterwards and be like, oh, I can help you with your website and I can help you with your lead generation. But hey, that's okay. I'm sure somebody in there is incredible.
I'm looking for them people. We're looking for a president to run. My wife is the CEO president right now. I'm the director of construction design. We're looking for a president. We're looking for a COO. We're looking for a director of operations. We just bought our own manufacturing facility here in Cleveland where we own everything around it. We're looking for someone to run this operation because I now have to continue on the journey I'm on. But we're not dealing with one client.
Right.
For a house build. We're dealing with one client with 50 houses they want built in a development. Right. And with my background, my experience, I'm able to talk about the infrastructure, the roof, the blueprints, the floor plans, the mechanical, the electrical, the plumbing, the structural, the foundation. You got to be able to know it all because I'm a one-man pony show, but I can't do it anymore. I got to start spreading it out, bringing in people that are smarter than me. Yeah. Never be, if I could give someone the best advice, never be the smartest person at the table.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm never the smartest person at my table. I'm the dumbest person. And let me tell you one other thing. You don't have to sit at no one else's table. Burn their table down, run a chainsaw through it, and build your own table.
There you go. That's right.
You don't have to sit at nobody's table. You build your own table and you sit at the head of your table and you bring them in as God send them to you and make a place for them. My wife sits at one end of the table. I sit at the other end of the table. And the left and the right, these are all people that you have to learn how to trust, because so many people got ulterior motives. We had a person try to take over $800,000 from us. Yeah. Can you imagine a guy like me from the hood? You took $800,000 from me? Lord Jesus can only save you. And God, hey, I'm telling you, Chaz, it was getting bad. And I told my wife, she asked me, she said, honey, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to pray and I'm going to ignore it and I'm going to let God handle it. And sure enough, God handled it far better than I could. And I didn't risk anything. I didn't risk anything. There was no liability on our end for any problems that happened. But I encourage people to believe in you. Entrepreneurship is at the best time right now, being an entrepreneur. If you got even an inkling of a thought of something you can do, all you got to do is pour water on it. And it's just like the Bible says, a mustard seed. A mustard seed has grown us into millionaires. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me, Lord. Thank you. He gave me back for all the dedication of helping other people evolve.
Yeah. 100%. And the cool part is that it's just the beginning. I was just talking to my wife about this the other day when we moved into this beautiful home. It was like, there's this place between gratefulness of like, wow, just incredible. Thank you. And like, I can't believe that this is here and this has been entrusted to us. But then knowing that it's only the down payment. It's only the small portion of the whole thing. So
look, there's a storm coming. There's a storm coming right now. I'm in some drizzle. I'm just in some drizzle right now. It's drizzling rain. But in a minute, the tornado will be here where God just puts you he just takes you and keeps going. But you have to be a good steward. Yeah. You got to be a good steward. No one said you had to be perfect. No. You don't have to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Just minimize the mistakes. Yeah. Minimize them.
We're all human. Like you said, we're all authentic and we can't. In fact, that's actually the gospel, right? Like we aren't perfect. So that's why the gospel exists. Okay, real quick. Book recommendation for a guy at 6 figures trying to get to 7. What do you recommend?
The Holy Bible.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Where do they start?
Recommend the Holy Bible. I recommend. The Bible is basic instructions before leaving Earth.
There you go.
Everything that you want to do has already been done. There's nothing you're doing that ain't been done under the sun. Believe that. In all phases, whether it's from the dark side or the clear side, it's already been done.
Yep, that's right.
The best book I can recommend for you is to establish a relationship with the higher power, whatever that may be. Okay, there's all different types of things that people have for higher power. Me personally, mine is Jesus Christ, my Savior. That's what drives me. And I challenge God all the time. Look, you can make a deal with God. You can make a deal with God just like you can make a deal with me. Lord, if I do this, I need you to do this. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
That's it. That's the only book you really need. Because look, I've had 4 people come to me about writing a book. They could not believe my story. Sure. Okay. It's just a story, just like the Bible is just a story. But what it is, it's a recollection of exactly what happened. Me writing a book telling you my journey is going to be nothing but from me telling you about how I didn't have no shoes. I had plastic Trek shoes with my feet going in bread bags because I didn't want my feet to get wet. Now I can tell you now I'm here. I built an empire that's doing $20 million a year. It's basic instructions. My journey ain't your journey. But one thing I could tell you is you have to believe in you and you can never stop. There is no such thing as stop unless you just don't want to do it anymore. The only stop I got is a box drop and that's it. Because the more money and more accolades that I get, the higher God takes us. So who would ever thought this guy from the inner city of Cleveland, Ohio, right out the hood, who would ever thought that guy would have a voice over Ukraine? You could have never told me. I didn't call them. They called us.
Right. Yeah, dude. Wow. So much here. I got one question for you because it's the last question on our speed round, but I just am so curious about what you're going to say here. If you lost it all, right? The contract for the current client, all the stuff that's going to happen later this year, it's all gone. What do you do?
Start over. Whatever my new self's going to be, I'm going to start it all over. And everything that I learned from when I failed, you're not starting over. You have now become experienced.
That's right. That's right.
Period. I'd start over. Something new to do, something with my hands because I build, or something with some type of consulting, something of that nature. I've had plenty of companies, major companies, offer me $150,000 salaries. Sure. We've had 3 people offer us $10 million for our company. Nope. They're like, what are you talking about? Dude, you poor. You live in the hood.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm not going to always be there. This is nothing but a temporary situation.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Okay. My man, Derrick CW Childs. How does the audience connect with you? If they've resonated with what you said today and they just want to get a little bit of extra energy boost, how do they drink up some Derrick?
You can go to our website, which is www.containerhomesusa.com, or I'll give you my direct cell phone number right to my hip, 216-372-5278. And this is what I'll do for you, Chaz. If anyone reaches out to me through my website, through my phone, I will give them a 10% discount because they heard about Chaz.
There you go. If you're interested in a home or home development for all you investors, container style, I mean, this is absolutely something that's happening across the country. And we just met an unbelievable entrepreneur with, man, some energy from another planet, from heaven, maybe. And so I just so appreciate you, brother, for not only pressing in. I think persistence is just like a huge banner over your story and your life. And then it's just the beginning, really. I love everything you've shared. You've given us so much value, not only just inspiration and energy, but you gave us some really practicals too. And so thank you for that. I so wish you the best of luck in these couple of projects, and then Ukraine, and just, dude, the rest of this year is going to be incredible for you.
God is good if you let him be.
Get out of the way, right?
Just let him move you out the way and let him get in the way and let him do his thing. But, God had to have a plan for my life for a guy like me to still be living. I've been home from prison 23 and a half years, Chad. Went to prison for helping a 6-month pregnant woman in a bar that was getting beat up by 4 guys. I ended up with a 9-inch scar on my head, 40-something days in a coma, and ended up in jail. I could have went anyway. But I knew I never wanted to go back there. God came and got me out of jail in 4 years when I was supposed to do 20. And I would never go back to that situation. I would find a way. You just have to find a way. And the way may not even be right in front of you. I had to go all the way to Dubai to make my projects happen because you can't find the labor in the United States. I have my partners over in Dubai. We build 50 homes every 60 days. Every 60 days, we're building 50 homes. We're getting ready to ramp up to 5,000 homes in 6 months. Who's doing that? No one.
No one.
I know a lot of people. I read a lot. The news a lot. No one's doing it. I just want to be at the top of my game. I just want to be like LeBron. He's one of my idols. He's younger than me, and he went through the projects. He didn't went through it all, but he had a skill set that was undeniable that they could never take away from him. Yeah. I have a skill set that's undeniable. The only difference is I just needed the opportunity. Once one has the opportunity, they will find it. They will find.
I love it. I love it. I want to ask you one more final question. This is bonus round. So if you're still listening, you're welcome, because I'm about to ask one of the greatest questions ever. It has nothing to do with business, actually. But since you're from Cleveland, and since you're a LeBron fan, and since you said you're in your 50s, I know who you grew up watching. And so, who's better, MJ or LJ?
There's no question LeBron is better. That was a different era that Michael Jordan played in. Michael Jordan didn't have all this talent. These guys are coming straight out of the 12th grade. And LeBron and Sean Kippen, and were just a few of them to do that. The talent level is so... it's just a lottery pool of talent. LeBron had to fight through all of that. Michael Jordan, I'm not saying he was given anything, because no one on that level is getting. That requires a lot of work to get to that level. But LeBron James is the best of the best. He is the greatest of all time in my book. As soon as he passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the Lakers, it's undeniable. It ain't all about them rings, though. It ain't all about them things, but it is about them. And, it is about the situation that he grew up in that makes his story so dynamic. Right now, I want to meet LeBron. I want to meet his mother because he has a school. I want to go down there and put 50 houses because I know what he's trying to do.
Right. Yep, exactly.
House up for them kids and families down there because that's going to make a difference. That's going to impact their life. May not even impact it until they're like 20, 25, but they're going to remember to go back and reach and help somebody else because it ain't all about Derrick CW Childs. There's a lot more to the story. It's about my church family. It's about my leaders, my Bishop Tony Williams, First Lady Elder Monique Williams. Who would have thought that a guy like me, I am an armor bearer in my church. You don't get to go next to the bishop. I guarantee you won't get next to him. I guarantee you my life will lay down if anyone was ever to bother him because that's my job. That's my job. Yeah. Your job and do it at the best you can do it at from an entrepreneurship, from a personal point, from a family point. Be the best dad you can be. Be the best mother you can be the best employer. Always know what's going on with your employees. Because if the employees ain't happy, it starts to affect the work. When it starts to affect the work, then that means the product is suffering.
Right. Yeah. 100%. I feel like you and I could probably camp out and talk business for days. But for the sake of the audience, I want to thank you again just for being incredible and coming on and giving us your time and being of service to us and being a blessing to each person who's listening. And dude, we're going to have to do it again. All right.
Man, let's do it again. Whenever you're ready, all you got to do is call the phone and we'll keep it steady. I'll pull over.
Sounds good, brother. We'll talk soon.
God bless you, Chaz, and everything you're doing. Bless your family and pray for prosperity in 2022. It's your year, man. Be good.
I appreciate that.
Thanks for listening to Gathering the Kings. We hope you got a ton of value today and learned a thing or two about taking your business to 7 figures and beyond. If you desire more and want a community around you to help you get there, I want you to go to gatheringthekings.com. That's gatheringthekings.com. And I want you to apply for our next Becoming a King 90-day intensive. We are extremely exclusive by nature as a group. What that means is that we're really wanting only the entrepreneurs who take their business and targets super serious to apply. So if that's you think you got what it takes to level up your business, I want you to go to gatheringthekings.com and apply. And we will see you on the other side.